Are you resisting what you really want? Yeah, many people are. And the fact of the matter is, so many people have an internal values conflict in life right now with everything that's going on in the world and everything that they want to be, do, and have, that they're having trouble orienting, figuring out what they want, and then going after it. And I'm going to show you how you don't have to do that. So let me give you an example of one of the biggest values conflict that is causing a huge amount of disruption in society today and is making it so that people aren't getting what they want. It's about birth rates dropping. All over the world, birth rates in the modern world, in the industrialized world, the developing countries, birth rates are dropping, and everyone's so confused as to why. Well, it's really clear. It's a values conflict. They're resisting what they want. The couples are, the women are, the men are, because they have a values conflict with what they think they can get if they don't have kids right now. Professor Scott Galloway really details this. And what he says, look, women today in industrialized and modern countries have more freedom, more power, more education, more money, more time, more status than they've ever had before. And that's part of why they aren't deciding right now to just stop all of that, leave all of it behind, and go have kids, right? The same thing with young men. What an incredible amount of freedom young men have today to travel, to go be with their guy friends and play basketball or do whatever they want because they literally can do whatever they want. There's so much power and freedom in the world today and money. And so what happens though is that when it comes to the women, they're the choosers, right? Men are the chasers, women are the choosers in relationships generally around the world. And what happens is women are like, I'm not finding the kind of guy I want that's good enough for me to leave my job, give up my freedom, give up my power, give up my money, give up my girlfriends and my travel and all the other wonderful things that I get to do and settle down and now be a second-class citizen in some sense in the relationship. That's not what they want to do. So they have a values conflict because they want the power and the money and the freedom, and yet they also want the family. And eventually what happens is that shifts, and around 35 to 40, they begin to think, oh my God, I want to have a family. This career thing's been great, but I'm drained, I'm exhausted, everything else. I'm not really getting what I want because they've been resisting it. And so now they want to make that shift, and sometimes it's just too late. And a lot of women who don't have kids regret it. Not all, of course, everyone's a personal choice, but a lot of them regret not having kids because they had a different set of values earlier on. It's also because the men have had a different set of values. Men want to hang out, men want to have fun, men want to party, they want to play games, they want to do all these different things, they want to achieve, and they're not thinking about, well, stop. I need to figure out what I really want here because I know I'm going to eventually I always want to be a dad, I want to have a family, and so they get in that values conflict and get trapped. Let me give you a story. I have a friend, I'm going to change his name, I'm going to call him Dave. Dave lives on the East Coast. Dave was wildly successful as a young man. And when he went to university, he said, I know this is going to be the deepest, richest pool of opportunity for me to ever find a wife because I eventually want to have kids. So I need to do that now because my primary value here is education. My secondary value is coming out with a wife. Because he knew, he said, like, look, if I wait 20 years from now, a lot of the good ones are going to be gone. And I could, I'm going to be in trouble. I won't be able to get that. So he had values. He knew what they were. He ordered his values. So what I want you to do is sit down, get out a giant piece of paper or a whiteboard or whatever you want to do on the computer, put a list together in Word or on Note or on Google. Make a list of all the things you value and things you really want, right? Family, connections, love, fitness, health, finances, travel, whatever it is you really dream about. Put those into a giant list and then begin to order them and prioritize them into what you want and why you want them. And then once you've got what you want, put them in the list of most important to you and your values for your life, not for today, not for this month, not for like, hey, I'm going to go play pool or I'm going to go play basketball, but for your whole life. Write down that giant list and then sort it and organize it and prioritize it. A, B, C, D. Absolutely must have is an A. B is the next best. C is that can wait for a while. And D, I don't need to do it, but if someday it happens, that would be awesome. And you prioritize all of these giant list of things you want, all the values and all the things you want to be, do, and have, giant list. Organize it by A, B, C, D. And then what you do is you say, okay, when do I need to make these happen? Which one's more important? Because you don't want to wait till you're 80 to have kids. That's not going to work, right? If you really want a family, then you've got to decide early on that I want this and reprioritize your values. So once you've made that priority list of all your values and all the things you want to be, do, and have, you've made your A, B, C, and Ds. Then you got to look at the A's, the things that are most important to you, and say, do I have a values conflict here? Do I have a tension? Am I resisting what I really want in this one thing because I'm scared, I'm frightened, I don't feel I can get it, my parents screwed it up, or I saw someone else fail at this, or I don't think I'm enough, or any other negative internal thought? And write that down. put a note next to it. I really, really want it, but I don't think I can have it. Or I'm afraid if I get it, that I'll lose who I am, right? And that's really common in relationships. People think, I really want to be married, I want to have kids, but I'm going to lose all of this and it won't be as good as this, and I'm going to be disappointed. So you don't want to get trapped, right? You don't want to get lost. You don't want to be unfocused. You want to make that list. You want to go through the priorities. You want to go ahead and assess what things you really want most, those A's are most important. And then you want to see, am I resisting anything? And then on top of that, you want to make sure, if I'm resisting it, why? And what do I need to do to get out of that hole? So I'm going to invite you to make that list. And as you think about it now, before this video ends, I want you to stop just for a second, pause the video for just a second and think about that number one thing that you value that you really want that you might have been resisting. Go ahead and write it down below, and then let's work on it together. Put that value down there. What is it you really want that you might have been resisting? And if you feel comfortable, you can even add why you're resisting it. So for me, for example, I was afraid to have a family early on because I'd seen both my parents go through divorces. And I was like, oh, that doesn't look like fun. So I was worried about that when I was younger, and I resisted it first. But then I got clear and I got focused. After you've watched this video and after you've written your list, I want to encourage you to go back and watch the video just before this one called The 5 Habits That Make You Weak, because you may have some habits that are also undermining your ability to get your goals. So go watch that video, enjoy it, and leave a comment down below on that one as well. And we'll see you there.